Welcome to Coaching Uncut, a special series on the Unstoppable Woman podcast, where I take you behind the scenes and give you a peek into the private coaching I do with my clients. All of these coaching calls have been recorded with the permission from my clients who have generously allowed me to share these with you as a way of helping more people in this world. They give you access to master level coaching and the opportunity to learn the lessons that they're learning right along with them. Please keep in mind that these recordings are not studio productions and the audio quality may be less than ideal, but the content will take you far and help you become unstoppable. With that, listen in and learn.
Do you want to talk about the quick decider stuff?
Yes. Well, I'm so frustrated. They are outside of the quick decider window. So that's something I want to talk about. Like, I sent them the proposal, last Monday. So I have a very tactical question about, like, do you extend the quick decider window? Because they were out of that. And then I have a call at 8 today with another client who I sent them the proposal. These are the ones that came back. They're like, well, because of our commitment to we can't agree to this because it exceeds our hourly. Well, that's actually not equitable. So I'm having a conversation with them about doing a part of what I recommended, but they are also outside the quick decider window.
Okay. So did you get my Slack message? I've been on calls this morning.
Yes.
Okay. So that was a big sigh.
Sorry.
Big sigh.
I'm so frustrated,
okay. I know. Okay. So here's the thing. For the coaching from the retreat, what would you do differently? Like, if you could revise what happened, what would you do differently?
I feel like I've made progress on being more directive and direct in the conversations. And because that is more than in the past, I think like the level of directness that I'm now using feels like a 7 or an 8 to me, because I started like a 1 or a 2, but really it's more like a 4 or a 5. Does that make sense?
Yes. So it's a lot for you, but overall it's, in the grand scheme of things, it's probably not super high.
Yes. If we're using an Amira scale of 1 to 10. No, but really, like, I think I'm more like a 4 or 5, but it feels like a 7 or 8 or a 9, because my point of relativity is to this much more like, okay, well, whenever works for you, cool.
Yeah.
That's because I spent most of yesterday, flogging myself, obviously, blowing my nose, flogging myself, being frustrated with my whole family, and then being like, it's okay, so let's get a little more, actionable.
Okay.
So I think that there's room there.
So if you were to revise that, so you've acknowledged what needs to change, which is great. We're going to give you like kudo for that. Next step on that is, how would you have liked to do it instead? And you have to really think about, how I was teaching just in general that people will say, I don't want this, but they have a hard time claiming what they do want. This is the same thing, but this is the lesson I needed to learn. This is how I need to show up differently. You're not yet claiming how you would like to be. So what is?
Yeah, fair. It looks like a combination of, I am fully like in charge of the conversation, yet I'm holding the conversation lightly, because I think that I still have this residual, like, oh my God, I have to close all the deals, because if I don't close the deals, the sky's going to fall. And I think that there's a great piece. Yeah, that's authoritative, like,
continue
like non-committal. I don't know if that's the right word.
I call it passionate detachment.
Yeah, I knew you had a term for it.
Yeah. So you have to want it badly enough. Yeah, but you can't be attached to this person. Okay?
Yeah.
You cannot be attached to this person. I just had someone sign up for a VIP day session, which is a significant investment, and put a deposit down. This is not someone that you know. And then send me an email saying wants to do it in 6 months, don't want to commit, blah, 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 blah. And I'm fine with that. I might not be available in 6 months. The investment level might be go up. You know how I run my company. So, you know, it might go up. And then I call the person forward, right? And I'm able to call that person forward. And in my case, like I'm specifically saying what's getting in this person's way. This is an issue of X, Y, and Z, and it's coming in the form of this. Okay? And it's the exact thing that you need to change. And I'm only able to say that because I'm not attached. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah.
And for you, you have to be able to say to your potential client, prospective client, so foundation, what happens exactly if you put this off?
Yeah.
Right? I get that you have an issue right now with X, Y, and Z, but let's take a step back and see the larger picture. What happens if we don't do this? Okay? That's a calling forward. And you can say those things if you're not afraid of offending someone, or that they're going to run away, or you burn that bridge forever, and all of that. Make sense?
When you're ready for freedom, you find the courage to scale. And you better get ready for our next Income Breakthrough Summit, which is going to be off the charts. Join me this November for an electrifying 3-day online event where female entrepreneurs from all over the world gather together to learn how to scale their business and unlock the freedom that they desire. And a special offer for all podcast fans. Get your seat today using the link theunstoppablewoman.com/breakthrough and save 80% off of your ticket purchase. Bye for now and see you there.
So when you think, I've already lost the words that you used a moment ago for how you wanted to show up. Do you have those words clear? Because they were really spot on.
Authoritative, yet holding it lightly.
Yes, perfect. Okay. So with that in mind, what does that look like specifically? Okay. What does being authoritative look like? Like how is she showing up on Zoom? What is her body language? What are the words coming out of her mouth? Like you know how you imagine the conversation with your husband when you're really irritated with him and you're thinking about like, then I need to say this and then I need to tell him that, right? That conversation in your mind? You know what I'm talking about? Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay. You're able to imagine a conversation. It's not happening, right? It's not happening. Right. So you're able to do this in a positive way as well. You just have to ask yourself to do it. Okay? How would you actually show up, right? What is authority? What are the words that looks like, the conversation?
I could feel myself yesterday. Well, I have been more attentive to the pacing of my words, by the way, after the weekend.
Great. Yay.
So, which is a superpower of mine, so that's super helpful, right? Like I can use pacing well. It's a skill I have. So I think it is even to that level of like, at what times of this conversation am I going to speed it up, and which times am I going to intentionally slow it down? And because there is a underlying energy current, like I am boss when I'm explaining this process and how it's going to work for them. Fan-freaking-tastic. But it's the bookends where the bookends are my growth edge, meaning like the part where I'm really saying, you know, like all the questions about, you know, how is this impacting their team, and, you know, what happens if you put this off, and all of that. And then at the end of the conversation yesterday, I did say, because they were like, well, what if we wait till November? And I was sort of like, unless you put down a deposit, I can't make any promises.
No.
So I was proud of myself
What
for that.
I would have said at that point, yeah, what if you do wait until November? What happens to your team? Okay? Like I would have brought them right back to what they said they wanted and their problems.
Yeah, it's just a growth edge.
Yeah.
And as I'm listening to you model that, which I so appreciate how much you do modeling, I realized I perceive that question to I take that question for what it is rather than doing the Aikido move of bringing it back to them. Like I receive it as literally a question about me and how we might, as a question about me versus being able to bring that back to them.
Oh, that's huge. Great insight. It's always about them.
Yeah.
Unless it's about you, right? Like it is. So let me explain that.
Don't confuse me, Amira.
I know. In the sales conversation, your focus is always about them. Okay? Where people go wrong. And this was a sales conversation with how many people? Like you're presenting to how many people?
4.
Okay. Yes. It doesn't make it harder. Okay. You just need to, there's a lot there. Okay. But, and I can coach you up on that. By the way, I do have a hard stop at 10. So we're going to have to, end on time. It's always about them. You want to be, the scarcity mindset does not listen. Okay. Does not care about the other person. Does not care about what the client needs and wants, what's in the best interest for the client. It's not in the best interest for the client to wait 6 months. It just isn't.
No, it is not for them.
Okay. But you were in scarcity. That's about you. Okay. Yep. So you went into, I'm not going to push. I'm afraid. Okay. But it's actually a win-win when you give a shit about your client, your prospective client, and you go to bat for them. It actually works well for you too.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. And I'm going to use the 8:00 call that I have with this other client that is dithering to try to come into it with a different energy and with that perspective.
Yeah, come into it with a different energy. Listen for what they're actually saying, and then challenge them on it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
What's actually and you have to, it's even more than the first question. Well, but if and they'll come back with something else, right? Here's what I heard you say to me. Has that changed? Right? And then you also need to come in and figure out if are they still in the quick decider window or not? The second one for today.
They are not, or it closes. They are not. I don't think they are.
Okay. Is this on your Zoom line?
No,
is this on your Zoom line? Okay. Start putting these on your Zoom line if you can. Okay.
Okay.
So that I can listen.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah, it does make sense. I need that level of feedback.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, do you use this as practice? Okay.
Yeah. Yep. I'm going to hold it lightly.
Okay. Great. I love it. Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this episode of Coaching Uncut. Let us know in the comments what you learned and how you can apply it to your own life and business. We absolutely love hearing from you. And we also love receiving your feedback. So thank you in advance for your likes and reviews. They really help us connect with more women who need this information to help them scale. So much appreciated for that and taking the time to do that. Now, if it's go time for you and you're ready to scale your life and your business, then I want to offer you up something. I want to offer you access to our Be Unstoppable Facebook group. We drop daily and weekly resources in this free group that show you exactly how to scale, what you need to be doing differently. So if you want access to that group and it's go time for you, go to theunstoppablewoman.com/Facebook group and that will redirect you there. So theunstoppablewoman.com/Facebook group, no spaces, and start by getting your copy of the scale plan, which lives there, and it's totally free. So go do that now, and then tune in to the next episode and continue to be unstoppable.